watching that on multi-view if we bother to put it on it. I'm not sure if we are. Let's move on though. We're sitting here, we're trying to do a program, we've got a running order, and I look up and suddenly the Energy Minister, Josh Frydenberg, has entered the studio. Thanks for your company.
Nice to be with you guys.
Do you just do this, walk around busting into people's shows without booking ahead? I want to make clear, we have no questions prepared.
That's right.
We have nothing prepared.
That's his strategy. He comes in here when we least expect it to get us unprepared, but luckily, as an avid reader of The Australian,
we got our notes right
here. We know exactly what's happening.
It's an inconvenient truth, but PVO invited me on, and he just didn't tell his co-star. You know, that's all.
Co-star? That suggests I'm a star as well. All right, let's.
We are Walkley Award-winning.
There is a lot to get to, and we want to talk about your portfolio. But a couple of questions before we get to that. Yep. Tony Abbott says if you don't like political correctness, don't support the plebiscite on same-sex marriage.
Well, no, he says don't. He said
well, don't vote no.
No.
Well, same thing.
No. There's a question if you support the plebiscite.
You organise your questions before I get on air.
Well, if we knew you were coming in, we might have been able to. No, but genuine question. He says vote no if you don't like political correctness. What do you think of that?
Well, I'll be voting yes.
So you like political correctness?
Well, look, I think there's too much political correctness. There's no doubt about that.
But you're going to vote for it?
Well, I think giving people a say through a postal plebiscite was clearly a second option after not being able to get through the parliament. Our first option, which was a compulsory, all-of-country plebiscite. Now,
what's the link to political correctness? I'm genuinely befuddled by that.
He could be your next interview guest, I don't know.
Well, I doubt he's going to wander in here voluntarily. I'm just saying that.
He does like doorstops today.
You say you don't like political correctness, though. What is it that you want to say that you currently can't say because of political correctness?
No, I just think, you know, people get into fads and in politics and they just jump on the bandwagon. You know, there's lots of examples of that. But I just think, you know, Tony's entitled to his view. Certainly he's been a strong opponent of same-sex marriage. We had a robust discussion in the party room about the policy and we now all support the postal plebiscite going forward.
Now, Alan Tudge said yesterday that this would look and feel like an election, the postal plebiscite, that it would just be a postal vote instead of rocking up to a polling place. But, you know, it's not going, you won't have a secret ballot necessarily. People will be able to see how you vote.
It's not compulsory.
It's not compulsory.
It's run by the ABS.
It's run by the ABS, the people who brought us the census. And indeed, there's no public funding being provided for the different sizes. Yeah, where am I going to get a sausage? How is this like an election? This is a mail-out survey. Let's be honest.
As you know, Gough Whitlam used the ABS
you guys
previously.
Saw him as the benchmark.
What other Whitlam area policies would you like to bring back?
But he does, look, what they did on family law, there's
a lot less government spending as a percentage.
No fault divorce.
Well, interestingly, the people who don't like same-sex marriage also don't like no-fault divorce.
All right, let's get on.
Lyle Shelton on my program.
Let's get on. Before we run out of time,
that debate is come and gone.
Before we run out of time, let's get on to some portfolio issues because there's actually a lot going on in this space.
Because he'd like to get off same-sex marriage really quickly.
We can talk to Craig Kelly about it in a moment. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk about it. I do want to get to some of these issues, though, in your portfolio. You had the media conference. We saw that. We turned the volume up once it was yourself and the Prime Minister on Tom Connell's program a little earlier.
How do I read that?
Can you? Well, I'm interested. I'm listening. Can you bring power prices down, or is this about preventing them going up more sharply?
Well, certainly we can get better deals for Australian families because what the Australian Energy Regulator has found is that households who change contracts or retailers could save upwards of $1,000 a year, but 50% of households have not moved retailers or contracts in the last 5 years.
You've got to reduce complexity so people can compare, though.
Correct, and that was one of the agreements we got today. So we got important agreements around better information, in particularly for customers to know when their discount period has ended. Currently, they're not obliged as companies to tell them that, as well as trying to get better comparisons between offers.
Okay, so when will consumers likely to see some of those changes start to flow through?
Well, we're ready in terms of the agreement to get customers to be informed about when their discount period ends. That can be done in a matter of weeks. We're working with the Australian Energy Market Commission on a rule change, but if it's supported by industry, which was agreed today, then that is the case. And so I think we'll start to see improvements pretty soon.
But it'll be implemented over time. It's not going to be bang, one big set. What about the idea of gaming the system, that the the energy companies are gaming the system by when they put their bids in and what bids upgrades they put in.
Well, that's a very...
This is part of this package as well? What
look, no, that is a particular issue for generators. Today we're discussing with companies that are retailers, although some of them also generate power like AGL and Origin. But where we've seen the most graphic example of the impact on power prices of that sort of bidding practices is in Queensland, where two state-owned generators, CS Energy and Stanwell, have been bidding in very late at very high prices.
But can you do anything about that realistically?
Well, what we have done is put pressure on the Queensland government, who have now given a ministerial direction to their own companies to behave more properly, and as a result, prices are coming down.
What do you think of the Greens' idea of re-regulating power prices?
I think it's silly. I think at the end of the day, you need to get the balance right. You need to have some regulation in there. Indeed, one of the agreements today was to get a rule change. But at the same time, the companies themselves can conduct themselves more appropriately and get the information in a more user-friendly format.
Do you think it's appropriate to, if you like, ban or remove or suggest the removal of late penalties on power bills? Because at the end of the day, I mean, a business is a business, and if it's something's being paid late, then the business is suffering.
The biggest problem we've seen for customers, disadvantaged customers, is that they can lose all of their discount, 100% of their discount, for missing one payment. Now, that's pretty punitive, given that they're the ones who are actually in the gun the most, struggling from week to week or month to month with their various bills. So we got an agreement today for those customers who are on hardship programs, there's more than 100,000 of those throughout the country, that they won't be subject to losing 100% of their discount as a result of missing a bill.
All right, Josh Frydenberg, since you busted in on our show, we're going to have to cut this short. We were only moments away from
a break. We have to go to an ad break. As a good market liberal, you'd understand.
You'd understand that.
Look,
you need to get paid here.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm warming the seat for Ed Husick, so I don't know where you are, Ed. But
no Ed Husick. Deliberate attempt to avoid him.
I think he's still on the basketball court, but anyway.
I think he spends more time there than in the chamber.
He was here on the morning shift.
Don't slag.
Of course he was.
I'll defend him. Don't slag him off. All
right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,